Hello, everyone. Tonight is the third, third live session here on YouTube. And last night we actually did some resin stuff. If you're here live, let me know in chat that you're here, so that way we can hang out. Tonight I won't be wearing that respirator, so I can actually talk and answer some questions, and you can see, ask me, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? If I'm not telling you, I'm going to try my best to tell you. But tonight I did promise that we would demold, and I'm going to tell you this has been killing me. I have no patience, y'all. None. No patience. Anybody that knows me knows this. I have no patience. And when it comes to my resin stuff, I am the worst about trying to pull resin out of a mold even before it cures. Even before it cures, I will try to pull I'll try to pull it out. So if you're here with me, let's pull some mold, some resin out of some molds real quick. I do have my wood burner already set up. We are going to do some wood burning tonight. It is hot, and we are going to look at how the top coat went from last night as well. But I have the little sword, and I'm going to pop it out of the mold. I like these molds because it pops out really easily, especially if I wait. But see, this is what I was talking about yesterday with how that's matte finished. If you look on the back end of it, like, this is shiny. And that's what resin will look like. Resin is shiny. But for these molds, it comes out kind of a matte finish. And that's okay. Like, at least I know this. The first time I poured this and didn't know, it was a skull. And I tried to embed a flower in it. It didn't come out. You couldn't see the flower, so we experimented with a couple of things. I first put Mod Podge over the top of it. It did get a little shiny with Mod Podge, so if you've got that hanging around, you can use that. Then I went and got some nail polish top coat, and that worked really well. But this is what it ended up looking like, and you can see, like, it did come out clear somewhat. But this is the same one that we poured last night, and I didn't put anything in it. I haven't put any top coat. It's here in this mold, so let's see what this one came out like. I'll tell you. Yeah, it's pretty, though. Even though these are matte, I really do like how they come out. It's kind of pretty. So that's how that one came out. My plan is that I'm actually going to put some magnets on the back of these and use them as fridge magnets. Look, y'all, I can't talk tonight. I don't know what's going on. I do know what's going on. It's my brain. We had a weather system come through, so my brain's like, bleh. But those came out cute. Now let's see about our bugs. Okay, so we had 3 different types of bugs that we did. One, I just dropped the alcohol ink. I didn't stir it around or anything. One, I dropped the alcohol ink and I did a little bit of stirring around. And then one, I dropped the alcohol ink and I dropped white ink to make it fall. So let's see how these turned out. You want to be gentle when you pop molds. Like, don't force it, but you still need to be a little bit firm. Most of them will pull, like, most molds that you get will bend like this because they're silicone, and it's pretty good. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so we didn't stir this, we didn't put anything in. And he came out kind of cute. Kind of looks like he's got. Now, I will tell you this, what I probably end up doing next time is I probably won't fill the mold all the way up. I'll probably just fill in the body of it. And for this little guy, what I'm probably going to do is take some paint and all of the ridges that are in his body. I'm probably going to take some paint and do, like, either a dry brush on there, so that way you can see that a little bit better. That came out cute. All right. Now this one we stirred around, but we didn't put any white. So let's see what this. Okay. He came out super cute too. I like him. Now, again, you can see, if I can turn this just right in the light, I don't know if you can, there's these details on his wings that didn't come out. Like I said, I'm probably gonna dry brush so that way we get some of those details out. Next time, what I might even do with this little guy is I might use some of my pigments, my powdered pigments, and before I pour the resin, I can actually take a paintbrush and put the powdered pigment in there. So maybe one of our live sessions this week, I do that. Let's see. Let me know in comments if you like that. Thanks, Lydia. Yeah, I thought they came out really cute. Like, I think they came out okay. Oh, this one's coming out real easy. Okay, this is the one that we dropped the white. And when you drop white ink into resin, it's heavy, and so it just forces all the color down. Oh, so they came out cute. Yeah, they came out cute. What? Okay, I see at Timo. Okay. Hey, Timo, you're one of my kiddos, huh? All right, let's see what, this is the one that is a shiny mold, all right? And this means that I'm not going to get the same matte finish that I got on those. I will actually get, like, you can see what the back of this one came out like. I think I like this too. But let's look. Okay, I'm going to let you guys see it first. Oh, I can't see the alpaca at all. Oh, I'm going to have to do something about that. But look how that came out really cute. I like the colors on it. Yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do with this one is also, like I said with the others, I'll have to get some of my mica powders and put that on there. But I'm probably going to paint the top of this so that way we can see the little alpaca, because he's cute. But I think they turned out good. They turned out really good. All right. The other thing that we worked on last night was top coating, and I told you that was my first time top coating, and I knew I was going to miss some spots. I did. Some things happened that I didn't anticipate happening. I should have. It's a common sense thing, and I don't have common sense. So I will show you how they came out, and you can see they came out really cute. You know, as far as the top coat, it's real super shiny. But when I went to go take the tape off from underneath, because this is a paper mache box and I put tape on there, I thought I sealed it well enough with all the paint, but apparently I didn't. So when I peeled the tape off, you can see what it did underneath here. Now it's an easy fix. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, all I got to do is go back over, and I'll probably take and Mod Podge some more paper on there and then repaint it. So it's not a, you know, I've ruined the project. No, it's just this. Now I was going to ask you guys, I found something. I have like a bunch of resin stuff. When I'm playing around with resin, like I said, I try to keep little molds around. Well, that ends up meaning that I've got a lot of little things that they're not for projects. They're just kind of hanging around. So one of those things looks like this. It's a little bird skull, and I've painted it. I was thinking, and maybe you guys can tell me whether it looks good or not. I was thinking of placing that on this coffin, and since the top coat's still a little tacky. What do you think? This or the skull? Bird skull? Bird skull or human skull? I kind of like the bird skull look, you know, and it gives that, I don't know. I kind of like the bird skull look. Let me know in comments what you think, because I don't know. Kind of digging that. But I also add too much to my art. I have to like stop. And then our little witch box, same thing happened to her. You know, I've got to fix the underlying of that. And then she came out really super stinking cute. And Now she's sealed in there and all her glitter is sealed in there. So I think it came out pretty well. I just got a little bit of fixes to do. Now with the live sessions that I'm doing, I want to maybe finish up some projects that I've been working on. And a couple of, you'll see this back here, like I've said before, is working projects. I've got a book that is a box that I'm working on. This right here is going to be a Beetlejuice inspired coffin box. And I actually have sculpted a sandworm to go on top of that, but I haven't finished sculpting everything out. It's just kind of like the base. I already cooked the base. If this is something you guys want to see for a live feed, I can do that. I can show you how I sculpt that kind of stuff. And then I've got a work in progress. I have no clue what this is going to end up being. I have no clue. But that's actually like foam clay. I put it in one of my molds and was like, hey, let's see what happens. I do that a lot. Hey, let's see what happens. But tonight we are going to do some wood burning. All right. I started this box, the very first test I did on Facebook. I got asked, why don't you do live streams? And I thought about it. I played around at one time on Facebook doing this. And somebody that I follow for prop making, Alan Hops, he had mentioned for one of his new channels, what he was doing a live feed every night. So that way he could, get people to see his channel. I thought, well, that's a brilliant idea. So that's what led me to doing the live feeds. But the very first live feed test was Facebook. And we started this. I had not finished it. Today, what I did was I knew I was going to do this tonight. And I wanted to do a couple of different tests. I am the type of person that I will try anything. Let's see if it works. What's the worst thing can happen? It'll mess up. Okay. We'll figure it out from there. We'll figure out something new from there. I'm not really scared about trying something new with my art. I'll just do it. So one of the things I wanted to try today was, is it better for me to put in the color on the boxes before I outline and wood burn, or would it be better to do it like after, like these? So I'm going to go ahead and finish all these up, and we're going to see about this up here. See if this looks as clean and crisp as up here. But so you guys can see a little bit better what I'm looking at. I'm wanting to get those little leaves. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get started. I also have a different tip I'm not used to working with. We're going to see how that tip works out for me. But, I woke up this morning to a message from YouTube. Apparently, my live stream last night had copyrighted music. I was playing music in the background on my phone, and I didn't even think about it. And so I was like, oh, learning lesson then. Let's do this. I am going to tell you this right now. I already hate this tip. Yeah, I already hate this tip. I'm going to turn this off, and we are going to let it cool down and get a different tip. I can't stand that tip right now. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't glide across. I guess when you guys, if you know wood burning, you don't know what I'm talking about. There's a texture to it. There's a feel to it. And this one isn't giving me that. So while we wait for that to cool down, let's try the dry brush real quick. Try the dry brush. I'm going to take some white or black, guys. Which one? Which paint? Should I put white or black on this one? Thinking black. Let's go with black. All right. And you can see I've got like I keep paper plates. Like if we eat a sandwich, and that was all that was on that paper plate, I'm going to cut the paper plate in half and put it here in the art room because they make really good little paint mixers and I get 2 uses out of it. I am an environmentalist. I hate paper plates, but my husband, he likes them. Ugh, sometimes, you know, sometimes they're nice to have, but I hate paper plates. But let's see. Now, dry brushing, if you've never dry brushed before, the idea is that you don't soak your paintbrush in paint. You're actually trying to get, like it says, dry. You're trying to get as little paint on that brush, and then you are going to just very lightly kind of like sweep across. I'm using a very stiff bristled brush. There you go. That's what I'm saying. Using a very stiff one. I prefer that. I've seen people though use really, really what I call wobbly brushes. I don't like that. It doesn't. I can't do this. So let's see. And I'm just gonna do very, very light across it. I'm sure you can hear it. It definitely has ridges to it, but with the way that we put this in the mold and the coloring that we use, it doesn't show up. So it's showing up really well with this black though. Let's see. So last night I was talking about, doing a video about being raised by a single mom and then being a single mom at one point. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to talk about it here in the live feed. So yes, I grew up with a single mom for a bit. Before that, see, my mom and my biological father divorced when I was like a year old. Before that, my mom was married to my first stepdad. Love him. He's my dad. And that's what I knew. As far as family goes, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. She volunteered at the school, did all the PTA stuff. Like my mom was there. And then her and my stepdad got divorced when I was about 11 years old. And we moved to Georgia. And from that point on, life was not easy at all. My mom did not graduate high school. She got pregnant with me at 17 and dropped out. So this is what we're coming up with. I'm not happy with it. This is a rushed thing. I'm going to be fixing this and probably showing you guys again in another live feed. But like I was saying, my mom, she was working like 3 jobs. Yeah, I think 3. She worked at a Hardee's. She worked at a liquor store. She worked somewhere else too. I want to say a convenience store or something. Anyways, I'm using a paper towel to take this off, by the way, because I wasn't totally sure that it wasn't cooled off. It is not totally cooled off, but it's cooled off enough for me to do this with a paper towel. But my mom worked quite a few jobs, and they paid minimum wage. She had 3 kids. There's no way on minimum wage, even back in the 90s, that you could take care of 3 kids. My sister got picked on unmercilessly in Georgia because my sister and brother are half Mexican. And that's why if you are one of my babies and you hear me in class talking about my abuelita or growing up Hispanic, that's, like I said, that's what I knew. And when we moved to Georgia, my brother and sister were picked on. My brother, not so much. My brother's very light-skinned. My sister looks Mexican. And so they called her names and everything, and she just didn't like it. And so she moved back, and my mom had my brother and I. But again, my mom's working minimum wage jobs. We don't get to see her very often during this time. It's just, she's struggling. She's struggling hard. And I remember one particular instance, we had gotten food from a church. She couldn't afford to feed us, and the state wouldn't give her benefits because she was working. So we were not doing well, and she went to the church to get food, and she comes back, and my brother's a really picky eater. And there was a jar of Goober peanut butter and jelly in there in the box, and my mom sat on the floor and cried. Like, I have never seen her cry. My mama cried over peanut butter and jelly because she knew that my brother would eat that day. So we did not grow up wealthy at all. And then when my mama remarried, he didn't make a whole lot of money at all. And he had a different standard of living, I guess. I don't know. I was a teenager, so I often look at my time during that time period in life. Like, I look at it very skewed and try to be objective about it because I was a teenager. I didn't understand all the adult problems that were going on. I wasn't a part of the adult problems that were going on. I was in my own teenage head. So I don't think too much about that time as far as like being angry about it. Matter of fact, I'm pretty proud of it. And that sounds weird. That sounds really weird. I'm actually really proud of having grown up with no money, because there are skills that I have that people who have grown up with money don't have. Like, for instance, making do with the rocks, right? I can figure out if I don't have something and I can't afford it, it's okay. I'm not going to crumble. It's all right. I'll figure it out. We had no power sometimes, and we didn't have central heat and air. So there are things that I did without that now when the hurricanes come through Florida and they knock out power or whatever, I can cook out on the open flame. I can make do with the heat. Now my body hates the heat. Let's just say that. But it's, I'm not stressed out over it. It also helped me from when I was a single mom. I was able to figure things out. Now, I told you last night in the last live feed that my kids have a story about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and cabbage soup. So my kids and I were sitting there, and this was back before I met my now husband. I don't think we were even dating yet. I don't know. But my three and I were sitting in my house, and we were eating dinner, and we were sitting down and watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the old one. And Charlie's family is sitting there, and you can see that they're poor. Like, you can tell that they're poor, right? And they're eating cabbage soup. And what were we having that night? We were having cabbage soup. Why? Because it's cheap and healthy. And so my kids kind of looked down at their bowls and then looked up at me. And one of them asked, "Mom, are we poor?" And I was like, yeah, we are. We are poor. There were times where I was scared that my lights were going to there were times my lights did get turned off as a parent, and that doesn't feel good. I was extremely lucky. And when I say this, I want to make sure I was extremely lucky that my grandfather was still alive, and that my grandfather looked after me. Because if that happened, he would go and he would get the money out of his bank, and he would pay my lights for me, and the kids. And it wasn't really for me. It was for his great grandbabies. I say it wasn't for me, but I'm one of his, I'm his grandchild too. So I'm sure it was for me too. But, you know, I felt the need to tell you guys this because I've been seeing on Facebook this thing about minimum wage and single parents. And there was one in particular post about being a single parent and how close you come to being out on the street. And I saw comments on it that just hurt my heart. People were saying that's not true. That's not how hard life is. No, that is exactly how hard life is. That's exactly how hard it is. And my mama and myself lived through that. That being said, it won't always be that hard. It's not always going to be that hard. I made a plan to make sure that my kids were taken care of and that I could have a fulfilling career as well. I decided to become a teacher, one, because I really wanted to always be a teacher, and then two, because I would have summers off and winters off with my kids, and I could be available for them because they were my priority. They were my absolute priority. I didn't want to not be with them. I wanted to make sure that when they were out of school, they had a mom that was there with them and would give them the love and attention they needed. So, all right, so I've done this now with the leaves that I have already painted in. And I will say this, it doesn't look any different. It really doesn't look any different than the ones that I had done beforehand, that I painted in after I had already wood burned. I'll let you be the judge. I'm trying to put this to where it doesn't like fall over and burn my house down. It's like, are you over dramatic much? Yes, I am very over dramatic. It is okay, all right? It's who I am. I live authentically. Okay, so these were the ones that I had already wood burned, and then I put the ink. It's actually alcohol ink that I put on there. I had put alcohol ink on afterwards. These are the ones that I just did, and it's really no different. It isn't really any different. Interesting. I have a plan for this one. I haven't sanded it down yet, and I'm going to sand it after I've wood burned it. I don't know if I want to do anything in the background. Like, I don't know if I want to put a color in the background or if I just want to leave it. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I don't know. Oh. But yeah, growing up really stinking poor, I actually, it's something that I'm proud of. It's given me skills that I wouldn't have had, and it allows me, I think it allows me to connect with my students who do come from homes that aren't rich. I think it allows me to connect with them even better, because I think some teachers, not all, I'm not saying all, but I do think that some teachers forget, and they're like, oh, it's just a $1 poster board. Yeah, it's just a $1 poster board when every single penny is needed. That dollar can go into my gas tank. Like, it's a big deal. So I think me having grown up without a lot of money has helped me understand my students a little bit better, and I don't put the demands on them that I think other teachers do. Again, not all teachers. I work with some amazing people, so I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm just saying some. All right. This tip is one of my favorite tips, and it's getting on my nerves right now. Why? Because something somewhere is broken, I think. It's wanting to spin. If you do pyrography and you're watching this video, for all that I find holy, and for a pantheist, that's a lot. Please tell me why. Why is it spinning? What's broken? I'm having to just chase it. No. No, no, no. All right, so tomorrow for the live session, I am going to try something different. I'm going to try something I've never done before. I'm actually having to look it up beforehand to see if I can even accomplish it. I am going to do a oh goodness, the word for it. It's a type of pour. It's a type of, like, not resin pour, but acrylic pour. Okay. It's an acrylic pour where you also use silicone to kind of make cells pop open inside there. But it's not just that. It's more. It's also silhouette art. So I will have a cutout and I will be pouring over that. And then once the paint dries, I'll pull the tape, the contact tape that I'm going to use away, and I should be able to just have the paint with the silhouette. I've never done that before, but I was watching it earlier today because that's my life, is I sit there and I'll watch YouTube videos and get drowned in for like hours on end. But yeah, that's where we are. I'm thinking of doing that and just a regular silhouette art with regular acrylic paints. An acrylic pour requires a pouring medium, and I have the pouring medium and I have the silicone. My 10-year-old self, by the way, guys, would be so stinking happy about this room. So stinking happy. I've always loved art, and I've got I can create stuff with. Things that I can create stuff with. Over the years, I've been able to get different paints and strings and tools and things of that nature. And this thing is not doing that great right now. So this tip is being a little hard to work with. The big deal with wood burning. If you weren't in the Facebook feed, and if you're watching this, you wouldn't have been, because unless you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you wouldn't have seen it. The biggest thing with wood burning is you're not pushing. It's not a pushing down of this tip. It is just a light dragging across the surface. You are legitimately using this to burn the surface. So it's a very slow, very methodical thing. If you push too hard, you'll actually cause holes because you're burning a hole into it. I've done that. You can see it even with this piece. See if I can get you to see it. You'll see it on the K. See that little right there? That's where it's gotten too deep. So it's just one of those things that you're not pushing, you're just dragging across, lightly dragging it across. I am going to try a tip that I haven't ever used before. Again, this one I've had and I've never used it, didn't like it, so we took it off. This one's giving me a fit, so we're gonna try this. We'll see. We'll see what this is like. I don't know. Again, if you do pyrography and you're watching this, leave me in the comments. Like, if you have a better tool that I can use, let me know, because I dig this stuff. A student and I were talking about this, and they were saying they like to do this. They like to do pyrography. And I was like, that's cool. I said, when you think about this stuff, though, when you think about wood burning, I don't know why, but I always think it's stuff old men do. This is an old men's craft. But in reality, it is not. It is not at all. That's still a little hot, so I'm going to put it on one of my rocks. There we go. See? Making do. Making do. Oh, my goodness. One of the things I hear a lot from former kiddos that end up having children and end up being single parents. They're just like defeated and frustrated because there's so many things that you want for your home or things that you want for your baby and you just can't afford. Guys, it doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen. You just got to keep working at it. I promise. I really do promise. Like I said, I had my lights turned off. I was on food stamps. I had my car almost repoed. I did have a car repoed once. It was hard. It was difficult, man. It was not a fun time. But through all of it, I managed to get here. And all I did was just decide what am I going to do for the rest of my life that I can enjoy. And that was teaching. This year has been a little difficult teaching, but I enjoy teaching. And so that was my way out of my lights getting turned off and my way out of paying for daycare. Because Lord help me, daycare, guys. That's some nonsense. I paid almost $200 a week for 3 kids in daycare. That was some nonsense. This is not hot just yet. Not hot. Oh, how many of you guys are watching football right now? Are you like watching me and watching football at the same time? I'm not a football person. I'm not a sports person. Actually, grew up in a very football-oriented house. And woke up many a nights to my dad going, get a fumble! When he was watching Monday Night Football with, his brothers and cousins and stuff. So I have fond memories of it. I'm not a sports person. I know some of my students are like, hey, you're going to come see my game? I'll root you on from here. I'm not a sports person at all. I don't understand it, first off. I'm not athletic. I say that. I did do sports when I was in high school. When I tell you what sports I did, you're going to be like, Miss M, you're not athletic? I'm like, okay, I'm not athletic anymore. I played basketball. I played volleyball. I did softball one game. I played softball for like one game and cried. I came off the field crying. I'm deaf in my left ear. And the ball was like out in field again. See, I don't know anything about it. And I played one game. I had caught the ball and everybody was screaming at me, like to throw it to them. And I can only hear out of one ear and everybody's just screaming at me and their faces look angry. And y'all, when I tell you I was tenderhearted, I am still tenderhearted. But man, I was tenderhearted. You looked at me wrong and I was going to cry. And so they all looked angry at me and I just cried. I walked off field crying. Softball, there's no crying in baseball. But yeah, I walked off the field crying, but I played one softball. I wanted to do track. But I never did. I think it was from just being scared that I wasn't good enough. That right there has ruled most of my life. The fear of not being good enough at something, and so I just didn't do it. And ooh, I kind of like this. Okay. I didn't want to start this YouTube channel for a while because I thought, well, one, who's going to want to listen to me talk? Two, what do I have to offer that somebody else can't give them? It's like I'm not the end all be all of knowledge here on anything. And I had been watching a couple of different YouTubers, and basically all of them was just like, just You got to try. And I had been preaching at kids all this time. Just do it. What's the worst thing that can happen? Go after your dream. Do it. And I hadn't. So I wasn't living by example. And that wasn't right. So I decided, let's bite the bullet. What better time than a pandemic? And go for the YouTube channel. All right, so this right here, this tip right here has the ability to do something that's rather cool. That tip is actually giving me some shading. Now, do I like the way it's turning out right now? No, I'm going to fix that because I'm not a fan of how it absolutely looks, but it has the ability to do some shading. So that's kind of cool. I'm probably, since I'm back into doing some wood burning, I'm probably going to go and look online to see if I can find any different tips, or maybe a different burner, because we've had this one for a while, and we honestly got this one because my husband, he does pumpkins. He carves foam pumpkins, and at one point he was using this. He was using the wood burner to actually carve through them just with the heat. Now he uses a Dremel tool and loves that a lot more than this. And I picked this up, and I love wood burning, but we've had it. We've had this thing for a couple of years now. So I think it's probably time anyways to get a new one. I'm sure there's probably a better tool out there than what I'm using right now. But that's, I would love, see, I'm not getting the curve. I'm not getting the curve I want with this. But it's okay. I'm going to have a happy little accident the way that Bob Ross used to. I don't like saying that, the happy little accident. I like saying it, but I don't like saying it. It sounds like I'm going to pee my pants, y'all. No. Oh, I know. I'm not right in the head. It's okay. All right, guys. I think this is where we're going to stop for tonight. And I will finish it up and probably post this on my Instagram. My Instagram, by the way, is at the Whimsical Mrs. M. Whimsical Mrs. M. And so is my Twitter, at the Whimsical Mrs. M. Follow me. But let's see what this looks like. Like I said, it has the ability, again, in this light, it does, that pedal doesn't show up real well, but it doesn't look like it's looking in the camera. I don't understand. But yeah. Yeah. Lydia, are you laughing at me? I know you are. The whole, happy little accident thing. All right, my lovelies. Thank you for coming to my live feed. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. I hear YouTubers say that all the time, but like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to have to remember to say that. I feel so dumb. I'm going to be honest. I feel really dumb when I say that. I know I shouldn't, but I am the worst at self-promotion. I'm really bad at self-promotion. I'm trying to get better. That's what this year is about. Me trying to get better at believing in myself, believing in my talents, and finally giving myself some credit for once, because I'm not as awful at things as I think I am sometimes. I am not the greatest at things, but I am not the worst. So I'm going to be doing this for the next week and a half. By the way, Friday and Saturday, we're doing tarot again. I have to take a week break because that's exhausting. Okay. But Friday and Saturday, join in at 7 p.m. so that way you can get your tarot read. Tomorrow, what we will probably work on tomorrow, I got a couple of things that I'd like to work on. Like I said, I think we're going to do the silhouette art tomorrow. We're going to try and see what that looks like. I'll just cut something out with my Cricut machine and go from there. All right. But like I said, my lovelies, be happy, be safe. Thanks for joining my live feed. Thanks for watching. If you're not joining the live feed because you're watching Super Bowl, I hope it has a good game and all that jazz. I don't know. I don't sports. All right. Have a great one, guys. See you later.